A very good morning to all the students of class 6. My name is Prerna and I'm your English teacher. And today from your English book Skyline, we are going to be reading chapter number 5. Now all of us have heard or all of us have been told since our childhood that we should always obey our parents and we should always be respectful towards them. So let us read the story of a boy who belonged to Japan and how this boy always obeyed his parents. So let us start reading this story. Here we go. So as I told you that this is chapter number 5 and the name of the story is Taro's Reward. So the name of the boy or the name of the son in the story is Taro. So let us start reading the story. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned little money. This made him sad, for he was a thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything that they needed. So there was a young boy called Taro who was always very considerate about his parents, who always wanted to do something really special for his parents, who wanted to give a lot of happiness to his parents. Was a thoughtful son means he was always worried, he was always very considerate about his parents. And what was his profession? He was a woodcutter. So he chopped wood. Chop means to cut it into small pieces. So he would chop the wood in the forest, but he made very less money, because of which he was sad. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner for their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, "I wish I had a cup of sake. It would warm me and do good to my old heart." So when uh, Taro, he was sitting with his parents, so you can see there is a cold wind that uh, was blown. A cold wind started blowing, and it because the house was not very strong, it was only made of woods, it was not very strong. When this cold wind entered the house, Taro's father, he started shivering, and he said that I really wish I had this uh, I had this Japanese drink called sake. It's written as Sake. It is spelled as Sake, but it is pronounced as sake. So he wished, Taro's father wished that he had this drink sake to keep him warm. This made Taro sadder than ever, for the heartwarming drink called sake was very expensive. How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little sake for my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before and chop more wood. Little after midnight, he jumped out of bed and made his way to the forest. He chopped and gathered a huge pile before. As the sun climbed, soon he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. My poor old father, he thought. If only he was as warm as I. So now, because Taro, he really wanted to earn enough money to purchase sake for his father, he got up really early and he went to the forest and he started chopping wood so that he could chop a lot of wood and make enough money to purchase sake. But then, as you know, sun started rising, and it was almost let's say around 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Taro, he started feeling really hot. And with that, he began to chop even faster, thinking of the extra money that he must earn to buy the sake to warm the old man's bones. Suddenly, A strange sound made Taro stop chopping. What is that sound he heard? Could it be? Could it possibly be rushing water? He put a question to himself. So while he was busy just chopping the wood, he heard a sound coming from somewhere, and it sounded like a waterfall. Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in that part of the forest. He was thirsty. The axe dropped out of his hands and he ran into the direction the sound was coming from. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. So you can see this waterfall which Taro saw. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he filled his hollowed hands with water and put it to his lips to slake his thirst. Hollowed hands is when you bring your hands together like this, probably to form a cup. And to slake his thirst means to kill his thirst or to quench his thirst or to satisfy his thirst. What? Was it water or was it fake? He tasted it again and again, and always it tasted the delicious fake instead of cold water. So this was not really a waterfall. It was a, you can say it was a, it was actually fake which was flowing continuously. Taro quickly filled the pitcher that he had with him and hurried to home. So pitcher is a it's a very large kind of a jug. The old man was delighted with the fake. Old man, of course, Taro's father. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of the fake. The lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. By the nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. So this neighbor who had come to visit Taro's family, she came to know about the magic waterfall or the place where fake was available. So she told the story to the entire village. That evening, there was a throng at the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the fake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the day before. He carried with him the largest pitcher that he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. So he planned that I should be the first one to reach the waterfall. When he reached it, he found, to his great surprise, all his neighbors gathered there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, any container that they could find to be filled in with the magic fake. So why was everyone so keen to fill in, their jugs, their pitchers and buckets and pots with fake? Because fake is it's a very expensive drink. Not everyone can afford it. So these villagers thought that, if there is a if there's a waterfall that has or a fake fall, you can call it, so, and you're getting it free of cost, so why not take it? So all these people, they gathered at this waterfall so that they could also collect as much fake as possible. In the meantime, one villager knelt and his hollowed hand and held his hollowed hand under the waterfall to drink. He drank it again and again and then shouted angrily, "Water! Nothing but water!" Others also tried, but there was no fake, only cold water. So now, every person in the village who tried drinking what they assumed to be fake, or the only taste that they got was that of cold water. We have been tricked. So the villagers thought we have been fooled. Shouted the villagers. Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall. But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock when he saw how things were going unfavorable. He was nowhere to be found. So Taro, he decided to hide himself because all the villagers were really angry on him. Muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. Was the Fake a dream? Once more he filled his hollowed hands a little liquid and put it to his lips. It was the same delicious Fake. To the thoughtful sun, the magic waterfall gave the delicious Fake, while to everyone else it gave only cold water. So now what had happened? Because Taro was so thoughtful, he was so concerned about his parents that the magic waterfall gave him what he really needed. That was Fake. But these people, the other villagers who were really greedy to take as much Fake as possible, it was it was only cold water for them. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. He sent for the young woodcutter, heard him, and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. So even the Emperor of Japan was so impressed, he was so moved with the way in which Taro was so thoughtful for his parents. So what did the emperor do? He not just rewarded him with gold coins. There's something else also that the emperor did. What was it? Then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. This, said the emperor, was to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. Isn't that a beautiful story? Of course, indeed it is. So how the son, he really wanted to do something for his parents. And remember one thing, when you do something for your parents, do it selflessly. And surely you will earn some or the other reward in your life. Thank you so much.